So today I want to talk about two types of foods, okay? We have processed foods, like this Cheerios cereal right here that has a host of ingredients, including things like oats and sugar and different things to help preserve it and its shelf life, as well as this one is technically fortified, which means that it has vitamins and minerals added back into the mix while it's being processed through the grinding and the blending and the cooking, baking, whatever it does. And then parallel to that, we have whole foods. Now, what are whole foods? So those are going to be the guys that you can look at it and you can know what it is. I can look at this and I can tell that is a oat grain that's been smushed down to make an old-fashioned oat. There's seeds in here that I can recognize, like pumpkin and sunflower, and then it also has little chipped up bits of apple, like where there's dried apple in there. So the main thing that I would like to point out with the difference between a processed versus a whole food is going to be the way your body processes it. So because processed food is already broken down into such tiny particles to come back together and make this, as well as having things like added sugars. So if you look at the ingredient or here on the nutrition label, you will see as you come down through here where that it lists total sugars and then underneath that added sugars. This one has 8 grams or 16% of added sugars, okay? And then that's as opposed to this one that has 5 grams of total sugars and 0 added sugars. Added sugars are essentially making our body work harder in order to process it. Because when you put added sugars in the mix, it gets your liver involved. It gets your pancreas involved. You begin producing insulin, trying to regulate the blood sugar in your body. And through that process, you quickly end up with things like fatty liver disease, okay? Because, as this sugar processes, it begins to store as cholesterol in it goes into your blood and then on out to your fat storage. So processed foods are, inflammatory. They don't provide us usually with the vitamins and the minerals we need. This one is fortified, so it at least isn't not depleting us of our nutrients as it processes in our body, because at least it's adding back to it. A lot of the processed foods that we eat have little to no nutritional value at all. So not only is it being very hard on your system as your system processes those foods, but it's also, unfortunately, depleting us of some of our essential vitamins, minerals, some of those macronutrients as it digests in our body, because it needs those things in order to digest. So if it's not already included in the food, it's going to be finding it elsewhere in your body, even if it means it's depriving you in areas. And that's usually what happens, is our metabolism gets deprived of what it actually needs in order to function in the way that it's meant to. That's where you begin to get into some of these metabolic disorders. Things like end up building until you end up with preventable diseases like cancer, like heart disease, like diabetes. And then rather than turning back to foods and changing the way we eat, we want to just go to the doctor and ask for a statin or get some metformin, and that's going to solve the problem. But that just removes some symptoms and replaces them with others, and sometimes worse. So if you can get on top of what you are putting into your body, if you can begin to eat more whole foods, begin to think about the macronutrient ratio that your body needs in order to perform its functions. And if you will eat that way, then you can begin to heal your body. You can begin to take better care of yourself as you control more of what you are putting into your body, so that you can help prevent some of these things in the future, like heart disease, cancer, diabetes, and so on and so forth. So that's my little spiel for today on processed versus unprocessed or whole foods. And I hope that this will encourage you to begin to be more mindful of what you're putting into your body, and remembering that it is fuel. It is what's going to get you to feeling better or worse, depending on whether you are feeding yourself the nutrients that your body needs or you are depleting yourself of the nutrients that it needs. So I hope that you will make good choices with your foods. And I hope this will be of help to you in some way. Have a great day.